I've seen a lot of moms that start homeschooling with excitement. New books, new curriculum, great schedule, and the dream of giving their children the best education that they can. But after a few months, some of that energy begins to fade. Not because homeschooling isn't good, but because there are a few things that some moms overlook. These aren't mistakes, by the way. These are just things that no one usually warns you about. Hello there, my name is Chidima, and I have been a homeschooler for around 6 years now. Right now, I'm in my senior year of homeschooling, so I wanted to share my experience about some things that moms might overlook when they're thinking about getting into homeschool. First, the de-schooling phase. When kids first leave public school, the transition to homeschool isn't always seamless. There's a de-schooling phase, a period in which everyone has to unlearn the routine, the pressures of grading and loud bells. Moms often rush to start up the academics again, and while that's not a bad thing, your child might need some time to adjust to the new environment. I don't know if it was just me, but I always had this morning anxiety when I had to go into the school building. It's just a lot of stress. So being homeschooled now, it's like I get to just take a slower start to my mornings. I didn't have to be in a state of panic to be able to start my day. 2, you'll doubt yourself more than you expect. This is something I want all moms who are probably thinking about homeschool to just anticipate before it happens. Even the most confident moms have nights where they wonder, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing enough? Doubt does not mean that you're failing. It means that you truly care. Homeschooling isn't about having all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. It's about being willing to keep learning alongside your kids, because really that's what matters the most. 3, your mood sets your tone. Honestly, in school, kids absorb the teacher's energy. At home, you are that energy. If you're stressed, they can feel it. If you're calm, they can feel it too. This is why homeschooling usually starts by taking care of yourself first. So my mom, she really practices a lot of self-care. Every morning, she goes outside, takes a walk around the neighborhood. Some days she is journaling in the morning. My mom really loves to journal. Sometimes my mom also goes to the gym, but that's usually in the afternoons. Moms have a lot to juggle sometimes. My mom does a really great job at managing us because she takes time to have some self-care, 4, curriculum isn't the key. Connection is. Moms sometimes can spend weeks or even months hunting for the perfect curriculum. But the truth is that curriculum doesn't always exist. Connection will always matter more. A child who feels seen will learn much faster than a child who is rushed and pressured. Chase that relationship, chase that connection. And I just want to speak on this connection piece a lot more. I feel like homeschooling really did bring our families together. I feel like when I was in school, I didn't really know as much about my siblings as I do now. I didn't know that much about my mom or my dad as I do now. So it really creates this stronger family environment. When it's a really calm, quiet homeschool day, it's a lot better than a homeschool day that I'm feeling rushed or I'm feeling pressured. Although some pressure is good, don't get me wrong. But I feel like if the curriculum comes first before the child's environment, I feel like that's never gonna work. 5, learning happens everywhere. Most parents picture homeschooling as a table and some notebooks, maybe a pencil, or maybe a laptop. But truthfully, homeschooling can really happen anywhere and at any time. Some of the best lessons I've ever learned, I've learned it at a grocery store, in a car, or even sometimes just at home when we're all having dinner. I have a great example of this. A lot of the time, my mom is always teaching us something. It's great and all. And I'm so grateful to be learning things, but I feel like every moment is a teaching lesson. When we're watching a movie or a film together, it could be an action movie that's so cool and they're jumping off buildings and stuff. My mom can be see, this is why you choose the right group of people. You don't want to hang out with those kinds of people. Even when we're just cooking in the kitchen, she's make sure you're always keeping a clean space while you're cooking. And I'm still working on that one. But I feel in homeschooling, everywhere is a lesson. There's a lot of teaching moments that happen during homeschooling that may not just be me opening a computer and typing on my desk, if that makes sense. Number 6, burnout does not mean that you're not cut out for it. There will always be days you want to quit. Always. I can speak on this myself. There are days that I did not want to keep homeschooling because I was I wonder what it's like to be back in public school. I wonder what it's like to not really have to worry too much about what I'm learning, and I'm just doing what everyone else does, if that makes sense. But there will be days that you want to quit. That doesn't mean homeschooling isn't for you. That just means that you are human. We are not perfect. Some days we will want to give up. Let's just say we had like one of those rougher days. I usually notice that my mom, she literally just like puts on her glasses, sits down on the couch, and puts on like Love is Blind or like some sort of like show just to decompress. And sometimes I just feel like when I need a break, I just want to stay in my room. Sometimes I just want to chill. Sometimes I play like video games on my computer. And sometimes it's just, it takes a reset to bounce back even better. And 7, you'll have to unlearn school yourself. Moms who grew up in a public school environment often try to recreate it at home. Strict schedules, strict tests, strict grades, thinking that that's gonna be the thing that the child needs. What was the reason you started homeschooling anyway? It wasn't so that you could have all of that just at home. Homeschooling often works best when you stop trying to recreate that school environment at home. Freedom can often feel uncomfortable at first, but that's also where creativity lives when it comes to being uncomfortable. For instance, when we first started homeschooling, we had to read like books that I was like, oh my God, I cannot read this book. This is like so advanced. Like I used to stumble over everything in that book. It was called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I was reading that at like, I don't know, like 12 or 13, because I asked her recently, like, okay, but why did you choose that kind of book for us to read? And she told me that, like, although I knew that you guys might struggle with it at first, and then she said she was seeing us struggle with it, she was like, I knew that it would push you and it would kind of stretch you and it would increase your capacity to learn even more. I feel like I'm so grateful for her for doing that, because thank God it really prepared me for the books we're reading now. This is not what they would normally do in school. They would never allow me to read something like that. And yes, it was madly uncomfortable at first, but that's where the real learning begins. And the thing is, I want to make this difference because people might think, oh, okay, school is uncomfortable. No one likes going to school, right? But I mean, you can still be in a comfortable environment and still be learning an uncomfortable task. You should not feel like physically uncomfortable, as in like being afraid of like school violence, school shooting, bullying, like external threats that could affect you. I mean, having a safe environment, but a challenging task at hand. I believe every kid deserves to grow up in a safe, loving home and environment. And I know that's what homeschool moms really strive to achieve. So I'm grateful for all the homeschool moms out there. And truthfully, that is the future. Homeschooling is the future. Unlearning mostly means like being okay with not doing what everyone else does. But I also feel like moms should also learn how to trust themselves more. My mom always talks about this, like trusting yourself. And there's a lot of great things that come from trusting yourself. Like success, by the way, comes from trusting yourself. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Those are the top 7 things that I think that moms overlook sometimes when they get started with homeschooling, or if they're thinking about it. And this is just to reassure all the moms out there to just say, hey, like these are the things that, yes, you may have overlooked, but it does not mean that you're in the wrong place. In fact, you're probably on the right track. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.